Hey, remember Alec? Yeah, well, he's living in Canada now, driving a BMW and running his own construction business. You're a hard worker, aren't you? Would that make some money? All you have to do is pay for your own plane ticket, which you will easily work off within the first week of work. It all started with that sales pitch. The men, they came to my small village of Papa Hungry and told me of this opportunity they were going to offer me to come to Canada, have a steady job, a great pay rate. I could support my family and live the life I have always dreamed of. It sounded like heaven. But when we got to Canada, the men, they took my passport and all documentation away from me. I was told to lie to immigration and government officials, and I was forced to sign refugee claims and claims for social assistance. And all the money that the government gave me didn't go to my family back home. It went straight to the men, to their pocket. Every penny. I was told what to say, where to go, and what to do. I felt like livestock. I was lost. I had no idea what was going on. And on our first night, we were flung into this cold, dark, and wet basin with no heat, no windows, no light, no nothing. It was just ourselves. There are 19 of us. There are 19 men! There was a lot of commotion. I could hear men crying, screaming out for help, cursing at the men who took us. Most of them were worried about their families back home. Then I thought of my family. My wife and my daughter. Daddy's gonna give you a better world. Oh, how I wish I could be with them! From then on, nothing was said. The men told me that if I was to even try to escape, they would kill my family back home. So what could I do? I was forced into doing 17 to 18 hours a day of back-breaking construction. And it was at a remote location, so even if I did try to run off, there was absolutely nowhere to go. But I was optimistic. What if this was a test? What if they were going to see how hard I was going to be willing to work, and at the end I was going to be rewarded? But no. I was forced to work and work and work and work and work! My fingers are bloody, broken, and bruised are down to the raw skin. This promised heaven seemed more like a promised hell to me. And in our nights after construction, we would be shoved into this van and shipped back to the house where I would wait in the basement and wonder if I would even have food to eat that day. I was lucky if I got more than a fistful of scraps to eat. And if the men didn't have leftovers that day, then I had nothing to eat that day. I am a slave. Every day, the men spit on me, they kick me, they tell me I am worthless and useless and there is nothing I can do about it. I'm doing this for my wife and for my daughter. But today, I had enough. I made a break for it during construction, and I ran, and I ran, and I ran, and I ran! And then everything went limp. The next thing I remember is my head slowly lifting to see the light. But I have this pounding pulse on the side of my head. And as I open up my eyes, something's rushing down in front of them. It's blood. I can taste it. I can hear the faint sound of the men laughing and scoffing at me. And as I open up my eyes even further, I see the other 19 men in front of me. Skin and bones. That's all they are. That's all I am. And they have this look of fear and terror on their eyes. The next thing I remember is my wrists were so boundly tight that I couldn't even open them up from the fists. They were spread out in this cross shape, and the men, they started to yell at me, telling me that I should never do this, and we're going to make an example out of you! They tasered my sides. They ripped open my flesh, and they just let it hang there. My ribs are broken and shattered from how many hits from a baseball bat. I don't know! I don't know. I keep calling out for help! Please! Please help me! But it's no use. The men just stand there. I keep coughing up blood, asking them to please stop! Please! Please stop! Please! But it's no use. It seemed to go on forever. And when they were done with me, they just let me flop to the floor. So here I am, in a pool of my own blood. My heaven is my hell.